In example 4, we're going to talk about the power of a quotient property. So let's take a look at the box up on top. The power of a quotient property is very similar to the power of a product property. But instead of inside here where you're multiplying a times b, now we're dividing a times b, taking that quotient, and we're raising it to the m. The same thing happens where we can take that m and we can multiply it to the exponents on the inside, giving us a to the m over b to the m. So that's what we're going to be doing here in example 4. So if we take a look at letter A, we have b to the second over 3 times a to the third, and all of that's being raised to the second. The first thing we want to do, and I don't know if I'll be able to do it on my screen, but that 3 in the denominator, remember that has an exponent of 1. There's a 1 right there to begin with. So I put it in there in purple. I would go ahead and write it on yours as well so you don't forget that this 3 is also being raised to that second power. So our first step here is just to multiply everything inside, all the exponents, by the 2 that's on the outside right here. So on the top, we get b to the fourth. On the bottom, we get 3 to the second times a to the sixth. And since this is a number, we can plug that into our calculator. 3 to the second power is just 9. So we end up with an answer of b to the fourth divided by 9a to the sixth. Then if we take a look at letter B, we have 2 times c to the fourth times d to the fifth over negative 4f to the 2/3 raised to the sixth power. Now, there's a couple different ways you can go about handling the numbers 2 over negative 4. My advice would be before you do anything with the exponents on the outside, let's simplify these fractions if we can, just by looking at those numbers 2 over negative 4. One thing you can do is think to yourself, 2 and 4, are there anything that I can divide both of those evenly by? And you can go that route. If you're not too comfortable right now with doing it in your head, you can use your calculator. And if you divide 2 by negative 4 and change that to a fraction, you'll know what goes on the top and what goes on the bottom. So 2 over negative 4 is just negative 1/2. So we're going to simplify this. Again, negative 1/2 would be here. And we don't actually really need that 1 on the top because we're going to have those variables up there. So I'm going to take that 1 away. Just remember, though, we still have that negative sign that's up there. Now, c to the fourth, if we raise it to the sixth, we're multiplying that, and that becomes c. Actually, let's not multiply yet. So we have c to the fourth. We have d to the fifth. On the bottom, now we still have our f to the 2/3. And all of this is being raised to the sixth power. Now in this step, we'll go ahead and multiply that 6 to everything on the inside, all those exponents. Again, keep in mind that this 2 that we have here is also raised to the first power. Now the first thing we're going to take a look at is our negative sign. Remember, any negative inside that's being raised to an even exponent, which 6 is even, becomes positive. So this is all going to become positive, and we do not need that negative sign anymore. Then if we take c to the fourth and raise it to the sixth, we get c to the 24th. D to the fifth raised to the sixth becomes d to the 30th. On the bottom here we have 2 to the sixth. And then f to the 2/3 raised to the sixth, we're multiplying 6 by 2/3, which would give us 4. So we get f to the fourth. And then our last step here would be to evaluate 2 to the sixth, which is 64. So the answer we get is c to the 24th times d to the 30th over 64 f to the fourth. Next, I'd like you to do the try this. There are 2 of them for you to try, and then you can check your answers when you're done. So go ahead and pause it now. If you did the try this correctly, number 1 should be negative 8 b to the sixth over a to the ninth. And number 2 should be w to the 16th over 256 y to the 8/3. Pay very close attention to your negative signs, as both of them had you account for those negatives. Notice in the first one, this negative was being raised to an odd power, so it stayed. And in the second one, that negative was raised to an even power, which made it become positive. If you have any questions, please let me know.